Admiral Carroll stood motionless before the massive observation window of the Centauri, her flagship's sleek crystalline hull reflecting the distant light of Earth's sun. Her iridescent scales shifted through shades of deep blue as she contemplated the holographic displays surrounding her command station. Each one told the same story, a story that filled her with both wonder and dread. "Show me the temporal comparison again," she commanded, her resonant voice carrying across the bridge. The ship's AI complied, projecting a timeline of human technological advancement alongside that of other known spacefaring races. Lieutenant Varn, her chief intelligence officer, stepped forward. "The pattern is unprecedented, Admiral. Where other species took millennia to advance from basic tools to spaceflight, humans achieved it in mere centuries. Their rate of adaptation is—" He paused, searching for the right word. "Exponential." Carol's auxiliary eyes narrowed as she studied the data. The hegemony had ruled over 5,000 worlds for 20,000 years, maintaining order through technological superiority and carefully controlled advancement. But humans, they were different. Their development didn't follow any known pattern. "Their conflicts," she mused. "Show me their wars again." The holographic display shifted, showing battles from throughout human history. While other species developed weapons in predictable patterns, humans constantly innovated, even in the midst of combat. They turned civilian technologies into weapons, adapted enemy techniques within days of encountering them, and seemed to thrive under pressure that would break most species. "They don't just fight wars," Cheryl observed. "They evolve through them." Her second-in-command, Commander Selix, approached with another report. "The Council is demanding an immediate assessment, Admiral. They want to know if Earth should be brought into the hegemony now, before they develop further." Carol's scales rippled with concern. "And if they resist?" Standard protocol would be a show of force, a small fleet demonstration, perhaps targeting one of their orbital facilities. The Admiral's primary heart skipped a beat. No, that would be catastrophic. She turned to face her officers, her voice grave. "Look at their entertainment, their stories. Humans don't surrender when faced with superior force. They unite. They adapt. They overcome." She gestured to a particular display showing human responses to natural disasters. When faced with crisis, they don't fragment like other species. They form new alliances, share resources, accelerate their development. A show of force wouldn't subjugate them, it would catalyze them. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't yet noticed the hegemony's observation posts, too focused on their own rapid expansion through their solar system. But first contact was inevitable, and it needed to be handled with unprecedented care. "Prepare a report for the Council," Cheryl ordered. "But first, let me show you something." She manipulated the controls, bringing up footage from a human historical archive. This was their response to a natural disaster in a place called New Orleans. Watch how quickly they adapted, how they transformed failure into innovation. As her officers watched, Carol felt her scales shift to the deep purple of resolution. She would make the Council understand. Humanity needed to be approached as equals, not subjects. Their potential was too great, their adaptability too powerful to risk antagonizing them. "We have two choices," she concluded. "Either we approach them with genuine respect and openness, or we prepare for a war unlike any the hegemony has ever faced. Because if we force conflict upon humanity, we won't be fighting the civilization they are now. We'll be fighting the civilization they'll become in response to our aggression." As she finished speaking, a new alert flashed across her displays. A human probe had just detected one of their cloaked observation posts near Mars. The clock was ticking. The hegemony's 20,000 years of unchallenged dominion was about to face its greatest test, and Cheryl feared they weren't ready for what was coming. The time for theoretical discussion was over. Humanity was about to change the galaxy forever, one way or another. And Carol knew that her next report to the Council might determine whether that change came through cooperation or conflict. The Grand Council chamber of the hegemony sparkled like a diamond cavern, its crystalline walls refracting light from 1,000 distant stars. But Admiral Carroll saw only the hostile glares of the council members as she concluded her presentation. Supreme Counselor Dexthor rose from his elevated position, his scales flickering with barely contained anger. You mean to tell us that this primitive species, these humans, have already detected our presence? Yes, Counselor, Cheryl responded, keeping her voice steady. Their probe near Mars detected our cloaking signature. They're more observant than we anticipated. Then we must act immediately, Dexthor declared. A swift demonstration of power would be our gravest mistake, Cheryl interrupted, breaking centuries of protocol. The chamber erupted in murmurs of shock. I studied their history extensively. Humans don't respond to intimidation as other species do. The Supreme Counselor's scales flushed crimson. You forget yourself, Admiral. We have maintained peace across 5,000 worlds for 20,000 years. These humans will learn their place, just as all others have. Before Carroll could respond, the chamber's emergency displays flared to life. A junior officer rushed in, his scales pale with urgency. Supreme Counselor, we've just detected a transmission from Earth. They're broadcasting on all frequencies in perfect hegemony standard. The message appeared on the chamber's main display, to the advanced civilization observing our solar system. We know you're there. We come in peace and welcome open dialogue. But know this, we will defend ourselves if necessary. The choice is yours. The chamber erupted in chaos. No species had ever detected them so quickly, let alone managed to decrypt their language from mere observation posts. Dexthor's scales shifted to deep crimson as he turned to his military commander. Launch the contingency fleet. Show these presumptuous primitives the price of their arrogance. Supreme Counselor, please, Carroll pleaded. Look at their message. They're offering peace while simultaneously demonstrating their capabilities. This isn't primitive arrogance. It's sophisticated diplomacy backed by strength. But Dexthor had already made his decision. Within hours, a fleet of 300 hegemony warships dropped out of hyperspace near Mars. Their mission was simple: destroy Earth's orbital defenses and force an immediate surrender. They never got the chance. The humans had been busy in the weeks since detecting the observation post. Every satellite, space station, and orbital platform had been modified. As the hegemony fleet approached, they discovered that humans had already analyzed their cloaking technology and developed countermeasures. The first wave of human defenders appeared to be primitive chemical rockets. The hegemony fleet prepared to swat them aside, until the rockets suddenly split apart, revealing sophisticated weapon systems jury-rigged from civilian technology and reverse-engineered alien tech. Impossible, Dexthor whispered as the reports came in. The humans had taken scraps of observed alien technology and not only understood it but improved upon it in ways the hegemony had never considered. On Earth, the response to the alien fleet was unlike anything in human history. Nations that had been enemies for generations united overnight. Military secrets were shared freely. Civilian industries retooled for war production with unprecedented speed. Admiral Carroll watched from her flagship as the first battle unfolded. The humans fought with a combination of sophisticated strategy and controlled chaos that confounded hegemony tactical computers. They used their own ships as bait, sacrificed positions to spring traps, and employed strategies that seemed suicidal until the moment they worked perfectly. When the battle ended, 60 hegemony ships had been destroyed or disabled. The rest retreated in disarray, their commanders shocked by human adaptability and willing to sacrifice everything to defend their world. In the aftermath, Earth broadcast another message. This was a demonstration of our resolve, not our capability. We still prefer peace, but we are prepared for war. Choose wisely. Back in the council chamber, Carroll faced the stunned silence of her superiors. Now do you understand? She asked quietly. Every challenge we present them becomes a catalyst for their evolution. They don't just adapt, they transform. And we've just given them access to our technology, our tactics, and our weaknesses. Dexthor's scales had faded to a pale gray. What have we done? We've started something that will change the galaxy forever, Cheryl replied. The only question is whether we're wise enough to change with it. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the heart of Project Prometheus, a vast underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. Screens surrounding her displayed data streams from thousands of experiments worldwide, all focused on understanding and improving the alien technology salvaged from the first battle. Show me the latest test results, she commanded. The holographic display shifted, showing the breakthrough that had kept her team working for 72 hours straight. It's beautiful, isn't it? Dr. James Rodriguez, her chief engineer, gestured to the swirling patterns of energy. We cracked their quantum field technology. But more importantly, we found its flaws. The hegemony shield technology relied on perfectly predictable quantum states. It was elegant, refined, and had served them for millennia. But humans had discovered something the aliens had never considered. Controlled chaos could be more effective than perfect order. Above them, in low Earth orbit, the first human ships equipped with the new Chaos Shield technology prepared for their maiden voyage. They looked crude compared to hegemony vessels, a deliberate design choice. Earth's military leadership had learned that appearing primitive was now their greatest tactical advantage. Meanwhile, in the hegemony's Grand Fleet, Admiral Vexthar prepared for what he believed would be a simple punitive expedition. 5,000 warships, the largest fleet ever assembled, would surely crush these upstart humans. Their initial success was merely luck, he assured his commanders. Our new shields have been modified. Their primitive weapons will be useless. On his command bridge, a junior officer monitored long-range sensors. Sir, human vessels detected. Their designs appear rudimentary, primitive chemical propulsion, minimal shielding. Vexthar's scales rippled with satisfaction. Just as expected. They exhausted their stolen technology in the first battle. Now we'll show them true power. All ships, advance. But in her mountain facility, Dr. Chen smiled as she watched the fleet's approach. They took the bait. She communicated to all Earth defense forces. Operation Prometheus is go. The human ships scattered in apparent panic, their movements erratic and uncoordinated. The hegemony fleet split up to chase them, exactly as planned. That's when the humans revealed their true capability. The primitive chemical engines were actually housing something unprecedented, quantum drives that operated on principles of controlled chaos. Where hegemony ships moved with perfect precision, human vessels could appear to be in multiple places simultaneously, their quantum states deliberately unstable. Impossible. Vexthar roared as his targeting systems failed. The humans weren't just evading. They were exploiting fundamental assumptions in hegemony technology. Their chaotic quantum states confused the alien targeting systems, designed for predictable quantum signatures. But the real surprise came when the humans fired their weapons. Instead of trying to breach the hegemony's enhanced shields, they fired weapons that synced with the shield's own frequency, creating cascading quantum resonances. The perfect order of the alien shields became their weakness. Dr. Chen watched through remote feeds as the battle unfolded. Send the next phase signal, she ordered. Across Earth, thousands of satellites activated simultaneously, creating a planet-wide quantum web. The technology was crude by hegemony standards, but it did something they had never imagined. It turned Earth's entire magnetosphere into a weapon. The hegemony fleet found itself caught in a quantum storm of humanity's making. Their shields, designed for perfect order, couldn't adapt to the deliberate chaos. Ships began failing, their systems overwhelmed by quantum feedback. Status report, Chen demanded. 30% of enemy fleet disabled. Her tactical officer reported. No casualties. We're using their own shield frequency to disable rather than destroy. Just as you specified. Chen nodded. This wasn't about destruction. It was about sending a message. Humanity could have destroyed the ships, but they chose not to. It was a demonstration of both power and restraint. In his flagship, now drifting powerless, Admiral Vexthar received a transmission from Earth. Your ships will regain power in 1 hour. Enough time for you to consider this. We could have destroyed your fleet. Instead, we chose to disable it. We still prefer peace to war. Return home and advise your leaders. The next demonstration won't be so gentle. Back in the mountain facility, Dr. Chen addressed her team. Phase 1 is complete, but they'll adapt to these tactics. We need to push harder, think further ahead. Humanity's survival depends on staying 3 steps ahead. She looked at the battle footage, now being analyzed by AI systems worldwide. The hegemony has spent 20,000 years perfecting their technology. We've spent our history learning to improvise, adapt, and overcome. That's our real advantage, not the technology, but how we think about using it. What's next? Rodriguez asked. Chen's eyes gleamed with determination. Now we show them why trying to outthink humans is a losing strategy. Begin Phase 2. Fleet Admiral Maya Torres stood on the bridge of the ESS Prometheus, Earth's first true warship built with hybrid human hegemony technology. The vessel looked nothing like the elegant crystal ships of the alien empire. It was all sharp angles and ablative armor, deliberately designed to appear crude and unfinished. All ships report ready, Admiral, her XO reported. Operation Trojan Horse is go. Maya nodded, her eyes fixed on the tactical display showing their target. The hegemony's primary shipyard in the Centauri system. Intelligence gathered from their previous encounters suggested the aliens were rushing to modify their entire fleet to counter Earth's quantum chaos technology. Send the signal, she ordered. Let's show them why adaptation isn't just about technology. Across the solar system, thousands of seemingly abandoned human satellites suddenly activated. Each one contained a miniaturized quantum drive, together creating a massive jump network. It was inefficient by hegemony standards, but it had one crucial advantage. It was completely unpredictable. The hegemony surveillance network detected the energy surge too late. By their calculations, humans shouldn't have been able to create a stable jump field with such crude technology. They were right. It wasn't stable. It was deliberately unstable, and that was the point. The Prometheus and its escort fleet materialized inside the Centauri system in a cascade of quantum chaos. Hegemony sensors, designed to detect precise jump signatures, were overwhelmed by the scattered arrival pattern. Their defense grid is still trying to calculate our trajectory, Maya's tactical officer reported with a grin. They can't lock onto ships that are quantum scattered. But the real surprise wasn't the jump technology. As the hegemony fleet moved to engage, the human ships executed their true strategy. Each vessel released what appeared to be debris, chunks of metal and crystalline fragments that looked like battle damage. The hegemony commanders dismissed the debris as primitive attempt at chaff. Their mistake became apparent when each piece of debris revealed itself to be a quantum-link drone, its signature masked by appearing to be part of the quantum scatter effect. Execute Phase 2, Maya commanded. The drones activated in sequence, each one targeting a different frequency used by hegemony systems. They weren't trying to destroy the alien ships. They were hacking them, using principles reverse-engineered from the salvage technology of previous battles. On the hegemony command station, Grand Admiral Zex Thor watched in horror as his ships began responding to human control signals. Impossible. Their technology is too primitive for this level of system integration. He was right. Human technology alone couldn't have achieved this. But humans had done something the hegemony never considered. They created hybrid systems that were deliberately imperfect, exploiting the gaps between technologies that the aliens had spent millennia trying to perfect. Message from Earth Command, Maya's communications officer announced. Phase 3 is ready. Maya allowed herself a small smile. Show them what happens when you force humans to think creatively. Across the Centauri system, quantum beacons activated. Unlike the hegemony's precise quantum networks, these were chaotic, creating a web of unpredictable fields. The aliens' perfectly calibrated systems couldn't cope with the quantum interference. Their entire command and control network is fragmenting, her tactical officer reported. They can't coordinate their fleet when each ship is experiencing quantum time differently. Maya opened a channel to the Hegemony command station. Your ships are now under our partial control, and your communications are isolated. We could destroy this entire facility, but again, we choose not to. Instead, we're leaving you with a gift. With precise timing, the human fleet deposited thousands of quantum processors throughout the system. Each one contained a complete technical database of human history. Every war, every adaptation, every innovation born from conflict. Study our history, Maya transmitted. Understand why we fight the way we do. Then ask yourselves, do you really want to continue this war? As the human fleet prepared to jump home, Maya received a priority transmission from Earth. Dr. Chen's face appeared on her screen, her expression urgent. Admiral, we've detected something in the quantum background noise, something the Hegemony has been hiding. Return to Earth immediately. There's more at stake here than anyone realized. Maya felt a chill as she processed the implications. They'd just demonstrated humanity's ability to wage war on the Hegemony's level. But what if this wasn't about military supremacy at all? What if the Hegemony's aggression was driven by something else? Something they were desperate to keep hidden. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the quantum data streams flowing across her screens, her face illuminated by their ethereal glow. What she had discovered in the background radiation of the Hegemony's quantum networks changed everything. Behind her, Admiral Torres and the Joint Chiefs of Staff waited silently. "They're running," Chen finally said, turning to face the assembled leaders. "The Hegemony isn't trying to conquer us. They're trying to prepare us." She brought up a three-dimensional map of the galaxy, overlaid with quantum energy patterns. "Look at these background signatures. They're not natural. Something is coming, something that terrifies even the Hegemony." The room erupted in murmurs as she continued. "The Hegemony has spent 20,000 years as the galaxy's guardians, maintaining strict control over technological development. Not out of pride or power, but necessity. They've been preparing for a threat they discovered millennia ago." Admiral Torres stepped forward. "What kind of threat?" "They call them the Void Hunters," Chen explained, bringing up decoded transmissions. "A force from outside our galaxy. It consumes civilizations. The Hegemony's perfect order, their controlled advancement of species, it was all to create a united front against this threat. But we disrupted their plans," Torres realized. "Our chaotic development, our unpredictable strategies." "Exactly," Chen nodded. "We terrified them because we represented everything they'd spent millennia trying to prevent. But in doing so, we might have accidentally discovered the one thing that could save both our civilizations." The quantum displays shifted, showing battle footage from their recent encounters. The Hegemony's perfect order made them predictable. The Void Hunters have destroyed thousands of galaxies by exploiting that predictability. But humans, she smiled, we're anything but predictable. In high orbit, aboard the Hegemony flagship, Admiral Carroll received an unexpected transmission from Earth. As she read it, her scales shifted through colors of surprise, hope, and finally, determination. Hours later, she stood before the Grand Council, no longer as a supplicant, but as an equal. "The humans know," she announced, "and they've offered us something we never imagined possible, a new way to fight." The council chamber's displays came to life, showing human scientists working alongside Hegemony engineers. Where Hegemony technology sought perfect order, humans introduced controlled chaos. Where alien strategies relied on precision, humanity brought improvisation. "We spent 20,000 years preparing for war in exactly the wrong way," Cheryl explained. "The Void Hunters consume order and predictability. But humans thrive on chaos. They don't just adapt to it, they weaponize it." Supreme Counselor Dexthor's scales had shifted to the deep blue of revelation. You're suggesting we completely remake our civilization, abandon 20,000 years of progress? No, came a voice from the chamber entrance. Dr. Chen stood there, alongside Admiral Torres. We're suggesting something far more difficult. We learn from each other. She approached the Council's central platform. Your order, combined with our chaos. Your technology, enhanced by our unpredictability. Not one civilization conquering another, but two civilizations evolving together into something entirely new. The displays showed simulations of hybrid ships, quantum chaos drives working in harmony with hegemony precision engineering. Human tactical unpredictability, enhanced by alien strategic mastery. The Void Hunters are coming, Chen continued, but they're expecting to find what they've always found: civilizations bound by order and predictability. Instead, they'll face something unprecedented: ordered chaos, precise unpredictability. A defense they cannot calculate because it defies calculation itself. Admiral Torres stepped forward. Earth is already preparing. Every nation, every resource, focused on merging our technologies. We're not asking for your surrender or offering ours. We're offering partnership. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. 20,000 years of history hung in the balance. Finally, Dex Thor spoke. You understand what you're proposing. The chaos you'll introduce to our society cannot be controlled. That's exactly the point, Cheryl replied. The Void Hunters can't consume what they can't predict, and nothing is less predictable than humanity and the hegemony working together. As the council debated, Earth's quantum networks detected the first signs of the Void Hunters at the galaxy's edge. They were coming, just as the hegemony had foreseen, but they would find something unprecedented waiting for them. Two civilizations that had turned their greatest differences into their greatest strength. The war that was coming would reshape the galaxy, but humanity's first interstellar conflict had done something even more remarkable. It had forged an alliance that defied the very laws of nature itself. Order and chaos, precision and unpredictability, ancient wisdom and revolutionary innovation, all combined into something entirely new. The real question was no longer whether humanity and the hegemony would survive. The question was whether the Void Hunters would survive them.